My mom demanded $5,000 for my brother's cruise while my kid was in surgery, then told me to hide my embarrassment. She didn't see what I changed after. I was staring at the heart monitor, those soft green hills bumping along, utterly terrified for my son. He was behind those double doors, under anesthesia, his appendix moments from rupturing. I hadn't slept. I hadn't eaten anything but a vending machine Snickers. My hands still smelled like hospital soap when the nurse walked away, promising an update. She'd asked if anyone else was coming, if I had family joining me. I'd just swallowed, looked at the empty chairs around me, and shaken my head. And that's when my phone lit up. Mom, send $5,000 now. Your brother's cruise leaves at 6 a.m. I blinked. Honestly, I thought I'd misread it. I rubbed my eyes, but the words stayed, stark and demanding. No, how's he doing? No, did he make it into surgery okay? Just a demand and a deadline. Another bubble popped up before I could even process the first, and don't tell anyone you're struggling. Embarrassing. The smell of burnt coffee, eggs, and bleach from the cafeteria drifted in. My throat closed up. Behind the glass, a kid's cartoon played on mute. A couple across from me hugged. A doctor in blue scrubs hurried by. I just sat there, phone in hand, my entire world tilting an inch to the left. Okay, let me back up a bit. My name's Mark. I'm 38, live in Richmond, Virginia. I'm an IT guy for a logistics company. Sounds fancy, but it's mostly resetting passwords and explaining to older dudes why turning it off and back on really does fix things. I'm divorced. My ex, Erica, and I share custody of our son, Leo. He's 11. Skinny kid, big glasses, always got his nose in a book. He draws comics on printer paper, leaves them all over the house. He apologizes to ants if he accidentally steps on them. He is, without a doubt, the best thing I have ever done. You wouldn't know that from my family, though. To them, Leo is your situation or your boy or the kid. Never our grandson, unless they want to brag that I'm a hands-on dad, conveniently omitting the part where they do nothing. They have another son, my younger brother, Alex. He's 34. Still lives 10 minutes from my parents, in our hometown. He's good-looking, charming, and allergic to responsibility. He hops from job to job, bartender, freelance marketing, warehouse, back to bartending. There's always a story about an unfair boss or a bad market. My parents? They don't just love him, they adore him. It's a blind, glowing, he can do no wrong kind of love. In every family story, he's the main victim, and I'm the solution. Mark, can you help your brother with his car payment this month? He's been trying so hard. Mark, we're a little short on the utility bill. This heat wave is killing us. It's just a little support, honey. You're so good with money, you don't even notice it. Support meant direct deposit. It started small, 100 here, 200 there. Then Dad retired early after some management mess, and suddenly, their checks couldn't stretch. Mom came up with this idea, a joint family emergency savings account at my bank. My parents, Alex, and me, all on one neatly printed form. Just so we all have a cushion, Mom said, patting my hand while the banker smiled. You'll hardly feel it. They set up a $50 monthly transfer. I changed it to $400 because I didn't want them to worry. Then came the bigger stuff, Alex's credit card, just this once. His back rent so he wouldn't get evicted. A short-term loan for his online merch business. I paid for my parents' new roof when they found a leak, $6,000 on my card. My sister-in-law's hospital stay? Another $800. Meanwhile, my kid got a $10 bill and a gas station toy for his birthday, if they remembered at all. Here's the thing about letting people use you, they get very offended when you stop. The cruise thing started 6 months before Leo's surgery. Mom called on a Sunday while I was changing a light bulb. Mark, listen. We have the most exciting news, she chirped before I even said hello. We're doing a family cruise. 7 days, Caribbean, all of us together. I could hear plates clinking, the TV on low, Dad yelling about the game. All of us? I asked, balancing on a step stool. Well, she said, slowing down. Your father and I, obviously. And Alex and Mia, they need this. Bless them, they've had such a rough year. You know how stressful babies are. We thought we'd treat them. I climbed down, the bulb still in my hand, waiting. What about me and Leo? I asked. There was a pause. You're always so busy, she said. And I don't know if a cruise is the best environment for a kid like Leo. He's sensitive. Sensitive. That's their word for it. Not loud and selfish like Alex's kids. So, you want money? I said, my voice flat. She sighed, like I was being rude. We just need a boost for the deposit, she explained. 5,000 should cover their cabin and maybe some excursions. You're doing well. IT people make good money, don't they? And you don't have a big rent. You have that little house. My little house that I stretch myself thin to keep, because I want Leo to have one steady place that feels like home. I stared into the dim hallway. No, I said. Silence. What did you say? She asked, as if the connection cut out. I said, no, I repeated. I can't do $5,000. I'm still paying off the roof. Leo needs braces next year. I'm not paying for a cruise I'm not even invited on. She went cold instantly. You are so ungrateful, she snapped. We did everything for you growing up. The least you could do is help your brother have one nice thing. One? I blurted before I could stop myself. You mean after the car, the rent, the business, the credit card? Stop, she cut in. You're being dramatic. Don't mention this to anyone else in the family. I don't need people thinking you're struggling. It's embarrassing. She hung up. After that, it was little things. Frozen smiles when I dropped Leo off. Forgetting to tell me about family barbecues. Taking group pictures of all the grandkids and posting them without Leo. They'd been punishing me for that for half a year. I just didn't see how far they'd go. The night Leo's appendix went crazy, we were building Lego on the living room rug. He kept shifting, making this little face. You okay, buddy? I asked. My stomach hurts, he said, pressing his hand under his ribs. Half an hour later, he was pale and sweating. Another hour and he was curled up, crying, saying it hurt too bad to move. ER, blood work, ultrasound. Words like inflamed and risk of rupture. We'd like to operate today, the doctor said. He's young and healthy. He should bounce back well. I signed the forms, my hands shaking so badly the nurse had to hold the clipboard steady. In pre-op, Leo tried to be brave. He kept asking if I'd be there when he woke up. Of course, I told him, I'm not going anywhere. Erica drove down as fast as she could, but she lives 2 hours away and has a toddler now. She kissed his forehead, squeezed my arm, then had to go home. Call me the second he's out, she said, her eyes wet. I texted my parents from the waiting room, taking Leo in for emergency appendectomy. We're at St. Mary's. Mom replied 15 minutes later. Keep us posted. That was it. No, do you need us to come? No, we're on our way. Just those 3 words. I told myself they were in shock. That they'd show up. That they'd call again. That something resembling concern would appear. Instead, I got the cruise text. Send $5,000 now. Don't tell anyone you're struggling. Embarrassing. I sat there, phone in my hand, while my kid was unconscious under a knife. And I thought, oh. That's who they are. I just refused to see it. Leo's surgery went well. Thank God. The surgeon came out, pulled down his mask, gave me the rundown, no rupture, clean removal, textbook. I nodded so hard my neck hurt. When they rolled Leo past me into recovery, he looked smaller than I remembered. Mouth dry, lips cracked, hair messed up from the cap. I walked beside the bed, one hand on the rail. "I'm here," I said. "I've got you." They settled us into a small room with a pull-out chair that pretended to be a bed. The nurse adjusted his fore, smiled at me. "Any family coming to sit with you?" she asked. I looked at the empty doorway. My phone buzzed again on the side table. "We still need that $5K, Mark. Don't make this difficult." I breathed out slowly. "No," I said. "It's just me." She nodded, her kind eyes softening. "Well," she said, "you're doing great." It was such a small sentence. But it felt like someone had finally seen I was there. I didn't make my big decision in a blaze of glory. There was no dramatic music, no slam of fists on a table. It happened 3 days later, in my kitchen, in front of a half-empty box of cereal. Leo was home, tired, sore, moving gingerly, but cracking little jokes again. He'd fallen asleep on the couch, nestled in a pile of blankets, cartoons playing quietly. I opened my laptop to pay bills. My inbox was full. "Mom, did you think about what we talked about? Prices are going up. We need to book soon. If you're having money issues, we can't help you, you know that. We have our own problems. But don't go around telling everyone you're broke. People talk. Dad, your mom is very upset. The cruise is important. It's family time. Don't ruin it because you're overreacting about some routine surgery. Kids bounce back. Routine surgery. Overreacting." I scrolled past those and pulled up my banking page. Joint family emergency. Balance, $7,392.18. I stared at that number. I thought about every $400 transfer. Every time I'd skipped eating out so I could help. Every "you're a good son" that actually meant you're an easy mark. Leo snored softly in the living room. I put my fingers on the keyboard. Transfer funds from Joint Family Emergency to Leo Future Fund. The small savings account I'd opened when he was born and never managed to add much to. Amount, $7,392.18. The bank asked, "Are you sure?" I thought about the nurse, asking if family was coming. I thought about Mom's text while my kid was being cut open. I clicked yes. The screen blinked. New balance in Joint Family Emergency, $0. New balance in Leo Future Fund, $7,408.92. Apparently, there was a bit of interest. My hand shook a little. Then I scrolled to Account Services. Freeze/restrict access. Reason, suspicious activity/dispute with co-owners. I hit submit. A message popped up, "A representative will contact you within 24 hours. Before I could second guess that, I opened another tab. My company's HR portal. I navigated to Benefits, Life Insurance. Current beneficiaries, 70% Leo, 30% Linda and Robert. My parents, as next of kin. My stomach twisted. If something happened to me, the people who texted about cruises during surgery would get a third of my "thank God he had coverage" money. No. I clicked update. I bumped Leo to 90%. The last 10% I split between Erica and my cousin Jenna. Jenna has always been the one who shows up. She sends Leo birthday cards and actually writes inside them. She brought us lasagna the night we came home from the hospital. I removed my parents completely. The system asked for an electronic signature. I signed. A little confirmation bar slid across the top. Changes submitted. Effective immediately. I closed the laptop. That was it. No fireworks, no epiphany, just quiet. Then, because I knew if I didn't draw a line now, I never would, I texted my mom. Leo's home. Surgery went well. I've decided I'm not paying for the cruise or sending extra money anymore. I've moved my savings into an account for Leo. I've also taken you off my financial stuff. I need to prioritize my son. I stared at it for a second, then hit send. The meltdown started at 7:12 a.m. the next morning. My alarm goes off at 7 o'clock on weekdays. I turn it off, lie there for 10 minutes, then drag myself up. At 7:12, my phone started buzzing like an angry hornet. Missed call, Mom. Missed call, Dad. Missed call, Mom again. Then the texts. Mom, the account is empty. Mom, did the bank make a mistake? Dad, I'm at the pharmacy. Card declined. They said there's nothing in the savings. Call me now. Mom, your father is humiliated in front of strangers. Do you understand what you've done? I watched the screen light up over and over. Mom, you stole from us. Mom, that was our retirement cushion. Mom, you knew we were using that for the cruise and bills. Mom, how could you be this selfish? Leo shuffled into my room, hair wild, pajama shirt twisted. Morning, he mumbled. I put the phone face down. Hey, buddy, I said. How's the pain? Better, he said. Can we have the cinnamon cereal? Sure, I said. Doctor's orders. He grinned and limped toward the kitchen. My phone buzzed again. Voicemail, Mom. I put it on speaker next to the coffee maker, more out of morbid curiosity than anything. Her voice came through, shrill and fast. Mark. I just spoke to the bank. They said you moved the money. You had no right. That was family money. Your father couldn't get his medication. We had to put it on a credit card like poor people. Do you know how that looks? I glanced at the chipped mug in my hand and bit back a laugh. She kept going. You are not thinking clearly. You're letting that surgery and that boy cloud your judgment. You undo this right now or don't expect us to be there when you need something. I ended the message. Leo poured cereal too hard, and half of it bounced on the counter. Oops, he said. It's okay, I said, grabbing a dish towel. We'll call it modern art. He giggled. My phone buzzed again. This time it was Alex. Alex, bro, what is going on? Alex, Mom's crying. Dad's freaking out. They're saying you wiped their savings. Alex, the cruise place called. Our payment bounced. They're going to cancel our cabin if we don't fix this today. Alex, I get you're stressed with your kids thing, but this is wrong. We've been planning this for months. I took a sip of coffee. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. Me, that money was mine. I've been funding that account for years. I moved it into savings for Leo. I'm not paying for your cruise. I'm not sending extra money anymore. Dots appeared, disappeared. Alex, wow. After everything they did for you. Unreal. Alex, you're punishing all of us because your kid had a stomachache. Grow up. Stomachache. I locked the phone. Leo was at the table, spoon halfway to his mouth, watching me. You look mad, he said. I forced my shoulders to drop. I'm okay, I said. Just grown-up stuff. Grown-up stuff is dumb, he said. Yeah, I said. Yeah, it is. They showed up at my door that afternoon. I saw it on the doorbell camera first. My parents, in their visiting outfits. Mom had her good sweater on, Dad in clean jeans and his nicer jacket. I could have pretended not to be home, but my car was in the driveway, and Leo's crutches were leaning by the door. He was on the couch, playing a game. Grandma and Grandpa are here, I said. Do you want to say hi or stay here? He hesitated. Can I stay here? He asked. Of course, I said. I stepped out onto the porch and pulled the door mostly closed behind me. Mom didn't bother with hello. You need to fix this, she said, jabbing a finger toward me. Right now. Dad folded his arms, jaw clenched. "You put us in a very bad position, son," he said. "I couldn't even get my prescription. Do you know how that felt?" "About how it felt," I said, "to read send 5K now while my kid was being wheeled into surgery?" Mom rolled her eyes. "Oh my God, Mark. That again," she said. "He had a routine procedure. Kids get their appendix out all the time." "You didn't know that when you texted me," I said. "You didn't ask. You just sent a bill." "We assumed you'd keep us updated," she snapped. "But no, everything is drama with you lately. Money, money, money. You've always been weird about it." I laughed, once, sharp. "I've sent you guys close to $12,000 in the last 2 years," I said. "Weird how?" Dad's face flushed. "Don't throw numbers in our face," he said. "We raised you. We fed you. You lived in our house till you were 23. That's priceless, right? So I owe you until I die?" Mom's mouth tightened. "You owe us respect," she said. "I do," I said. "And I've shown it again and again. But here's the thing, Mom. Respect goes both ways. You haven't shown any to me, or to Leo." "We love that boy," she said instantly. "Really?" I asked. "Name one time you called to talk to him without asking for money in the same conversation." She opened her mouth, closed it. "We're old," she said finally. "We need help. That's what family is for." "Family is also for sitting with you in the hospital," I said. "For asking if you're okay. For remembering birthdays. You want the good parts without any of the responsibilities." Dad shook his head. "You sound like that woman," he said. I knew who he meant. "Jenna, my cousin, the one who told me over Thanksgiving that the way my parents treated me wasn't normal." "If by that woman you mean the one person in the family who notices Leo exists, then yeah," I said. "I sound like her." Mom took a step closer, lowering her voice like we were in a soap opera. "Listen to yourself," she hissed. "You've let that child and those women turn you against your own parents. Over some money. Money comes and goes. Family is forever." I looked at them, two people who could not see the irony if it smacked them in the face. "I haven't turned against you," I said. "I've just stopped paying to be disrespected." Her eyes went glassy. Not with sadness, with anger. "So that's it," she said. "You're cutting us off." I took a breath. "I moved my savings," I said. "I locked the joint account. I changed my beneficiary. I'm not your backup bank anymore. I won't fund a family my kid isn't part of." Dad scoffed. "You'll come crawling back when you need something," he said. "I hope not," I said. "For Leo's sake." I stepped back inside. They didn't follow. Mom called after me, "You're making a huge mistake." But I just closed the door quietly. Leo looked up from the couch, wide-eyed. "Are they mad?" he asked. "Yeah," I said. "They are." "Did I do something wrong?" he asked, his voice small. Something inside me twisted. "No," I said firmly, sitting beside him. "You didn't do anything wrong. Grown-ups did, and I'm fixing it." He nodded slowly. "Okay," he said. "Can we watch something funny?" "Absolutely," I said. "Funniest thing we can find." We ended up watching some stupid show about a dog detective. Leo laughed so hard he forgot to clutch his side. For the first time in a long time, I laughed with him. The fallout lasted for days. Texts, voicemails, a long email from Mom that was basically one big guilt trip with no apology anywhere in it. Phrases like, "After all we sacrificed and you've broken your father's heart," and "that boy is not the center of the universe." I forwarded the email to Jenna. She called me immediately. "Are you okay?" she asked. Shockingly, "Yes," I said. She exhaled. "Good," she said. "I'm proud of you." They've been using you like an ATM for years. Uncle Rob complains about the economy while bragging about your roof money like it fell from the sky. We talked for an hour about family, about how weird it is to realize you're the only one who's been playing the responsible adult game while everyone else cheats. Before we hung up, she said, "By the way, Leo's birthday is in 2 weeks, right? I'm bringing him the biggest bag of art supplies I can find." "Careful," I said. "You might become his favorite person." "Good," she said. "Somebody has to compete with you." Leo's birthday ended up being the quietest and best one he's ever had. We kept it small. Just me, Leo, my ex, her husband, their toddler, and Jenna. We grilled hot dogs on my tiny deck and made a cake from a box. The frosting was lumpy. Nobody cared. I set up 4 chairs around the table and left 2 empty at the far end, out of habit. No one came to fill them. I noticed, but it didn't hollow me out the way it used to. Leo tore open cards and gifts, laughing. Jenna gave him a huge sketchbook and a ridiculous variety pack of markers and pens. His eyes went huge. "For my comics?" he asked. "For whatever you want," she said. "The world you build is up to you." After everyone left, Leo brought me one of his drawings. "Look, Dad," he said. "I made a new comic cover." It was us, me and him, standing on a rooftop like superheroes. He'd drawn me with a cape made of ones and zeros. He gave himself a cape covered in stars. Across the top, in big block letters, he'd written, "The Real Team." At the bottom, in smaller letters, "Issue number 1, no more bad guys." He looked up, nervous. "Do you like it?" he asked. I swallowed around the lump in my throat. "I love it," I said. "Can I put it on the fridge?" He nodded so hard his glasses slipped down. I taped it up in the middle of the fridge door, right where the family calendar used to be. Underneath, on a sticky note, I wrote, "This is what we protect." My parents still talk to the extended family. They tell everyone I stole their savings and chose money over blood. I know because my aunt accidentally sent a screenshot of their group chat to the wrong Mark. Do I care? Less than I thought I would. What I do care about is this: Leo's savings account has more in it than it ever has. My bills still get paid. I still have to watch the budget, but there's no extra $400 bleeding out every month into a black hole of emergencies. When my truck needed new tires last week, I bought them without that usual twist of panic because this time I wasn't also covering someone else's cruise deposit. The nurse at Leo's last checkup said he's healing great. His scar is small and already turning pale. He likes to poke it and say, "Battle wound." Sometimes, late at night, when the house is quiet and the fridge hums softly, I walk over and look at his comic cover on the door. The Real Team. That's it. Not perfect. Not huge. Not fancy. Just real. A few days ago, a number I didn't recognize called. I didn't pick up. The voicemail was short. Mom's voice sounded tired, less sharp than before. "Mark," she said, "we got a notice from the bank that the joint account is being closed. I guess you're really done. I want you to know we think you're being ridiculous. But I hope that boy is okay. Not, how is Leo? Not, tell him we love him. Just that boy again." I deleted it. Then I opened my banking app one more time and checked. Joint family emergency, status closed. Leo Future Fund, balance a little more than last month. I locked my phone and sat at the table with a mug of cheap coffee. Leo shuffled in, hair a mess, clutching his newest comic. "Dad," he said, "can we make pancakes? Like the fun kind, with chocolate chips?" "We can," I said. "We absolutely can." As we mixed the batter, he talked about a storyline he'd come up with where our hero team travels through time and fixes things before they break. "They don't fight people," he said. "They just fix stuff so it doesn't hurt anymore." "Sounds like a good job," I said. "Yeah," he said. "They're kind of like dads." I didn't say anything for a second. I just flipped the pancakes. We sat down at the table together. 2 plates. 2 forks. No empty chairs waiting for people who never show up. My phone buzzed on the counter. I let it. Leo took a bite of his pancake, chocolate on his face, and smiled at me like I hung the moon. Right there, I knew I hadn't blown up my family. I'd finally stepped out of the role they'd written for me and chosen a different one. Not the bank. Not the background character. Just a dad on a very small, very real team. And for the first time in a long, long time, that felt like everything